Welcome to the Deputy Athena, a tribute to Chuck80 build guide. This build was set up as kind of a tribute to Chuck80's Deputy Sal build. If you don't know what that is and you like Sal, Google it, look it up. It's pretty much the greatest Sal build you could imagine, and Chuck was brilliant for coming up with it. So, I guess to start going over the skills here. Here's a brief overview. I'll try to make this quicker than some of my other ones. In fact, you can kind of read the thread for most of this. I'm going to kind of hit the highlights, but gun damage, base gun damage, and additive gun damages are really important for Athena, even though a lot of people seem to skip those. So you got that here, plus movement speed. You've got more additive gun damage here, which you can easily get 3-4 stacks here. So now we're looking at 50-60%. And then another almost 30% here. So you're looking around 80-90% gun damage base with your Aspis up. And that's really huge considering we have some multiplicative skills on top of that. And then you have another movement speed here. So when you go through these two, up to 40% movement speed along with Blood Rush here. This is a fast moving build. That's part of what's fun about it. Next, you've got Vanguard and Hold the Line. Hold the Line is one of those tie it all together skills. You're doubling your Aspis time here. Duration 11 seconds plus 11 seconds. Going 11 to 22 is a big deal. Vanguard here, health regen. Again, health regen is great. You don't take too much damage with your Aspis, but like stomps get around it, and sometimes grenades can get around it depending on where they land, and sometimes you just get a lot of enemies, and since I am blood rushing a lot of enemies, I do get enemies in my back arc sometimes, so the health regen is really helpful. And at 10 out of 5, it's really solid. It's not often you get your friends healed in there, because people in this game move around too fast, especially with like the aerial combat. It's hard to keep your teammates in that bubble unless they try to stay in that bubble. This just increases the amount of dots you can do off your Aspis throws, increases the damage you can absorb. You can absorb cryo's the big one because you can freeze enemies with your Aspis throw. So this is really big. And I go over that in some of my guides on the forums that you can read that really explain this in further detail. This isn't the video for it though, so moving on. Clear, if you like res, this is res on crack. You don't need line of sight. You can res multiple enemies in one throw. You can hit an enemy even without Wrath of Goddess because it's the AoE. You can throw it, hit an enemy, and the AoE of it will still heal your ally. It's great. But with Wrath of Goddess, you can ricochet 5 times. You can hit a lot of enemies and heal a lot of allies. There's one time against the Sentinel, all 3 of my teammates went down. I threw it. As I threw it, I went down. I healed all 3 of them, and it bounced back and healed me. Just awesome. I mean, rezzing 4 teammates in one throw on a 4-player co-op game, beautiful. This, more gun damage, more melee damage. More melee damage, the health is kind of insignificant. Not enough to hurt you for health gating, not enough to really help you, it's just kind of there. But the extra melee damage is really helpful, because you are doing a lot of blood rushing. Mercurial, more movement speed, yes. More damage resistance, yes. It's just great all around. This is one of the big ones. It's multiplicative. You're doing more damage when they're below 50%, but it's multiplicative to everything. Dots, splash damage, bullets, grenades, everything. And it's separate multiplicative, so it doesn't stack with any other multiplicative skill. It remultiplies everything. So this is, once you get the enemy down to 50% health, they are dead. You just melt bosses once you get them down that far. It's fantastic. This is another tie it all together skill. The dots are nice. The 12-second bleed duration is really great, especially considering they take more damage while they're bleeding. and this is another multiplicative one, but this only applies to your bullets, not your splash damage, no grenades, but it's the whole health bar, and when you start stacking multiplicative skills on top of that 80-90% base gun damage I was talking about, that's a lot of damage. Blood Rush, as long as you make them bleed, you can keep doing this, or if you kill them. And, you know, it's execute and many must fall all in one. It's such a fantastic skill. And I hope Gearbox keeps going with these skills. In Battleborn, they've got a skill like this. We've already seen it on Caldarius. You know, we've seen this in Borderlands 2, obviously, with Zero. So hopefully they keep going with things like this, because these skills are so much fun. And then the Elemental Tree. The best Elemental Tree Gearbox has designed so far by far. This tree is just insanely powerful. It's a lot of fun. It's just really well designed. Everything in it really synergizes incredibly well. And you can do it different ways, and oh, so good. So anyways, Storm Weaving, more fire rate, more elemental effect chance, which both help you get more dots. The more dots you put out, the more damage you do. You know, brilliant top tier here. Gathering Tempest, more magazine and reload speed, increases your DPS, you're reloading less often, you're reloading quicker, which means you're not losing your stacks and you're gaining them faster. Conduit, you're putting dots out anyways, you might as well get your shield back for them. Unrelenting, actually I'm going to come back to that. Smite and Zeus's Rage, these are two of the prettiest skills I've seen Gearbox make. They are absolutely beautiful. And they're effective. You know, Smite, you're often airborne in this game, so it's not that hard to get it to proc, and when it procs, it adds a lot of dots, it does a ton of damage, and it is, like, once again, just beautiful. Even co-op, like seeing one of your other teammates proc it, it looks so damn good. I know graphics don't matter to most of some people, but it's nice to have awesome looking skills. Zeus's Rage, this is again beautiful. It's this massive fire and shock nova around the enemies, and it works with Wrath of Goddess, so it can proc 5 times and just hit so many enemies. And it's so, so beautiful. Now you have these two, which again just synergize great with this tree. With Unrelenting, you can just get to massive fire rates. You stack that with Storm Weaving, you have even more fire rate. And then you have a bigger magazine and faster reload to help compensate for that, but even more importantly, you activate Storm Weaving. Now, you can get, if you get enough stacks of Maelstrom, you can have like 100% free shot chance. So, yeah. You basically can fire for free, never have to even worry about reloading any of that crap. You just keep swapping back and forth. And then you just get crazy fire rate on top of it, and as long as you have these two going, you know you're going to have massive Maelstrom stacks, so this is just your boss killer. For mobbing, this is really unneeded, but when you get to the bosses, they just melt with that stuff. So, for the gear, so the splitters, I know it's supposed to be a shotgun build. I do have 2 shotguns in there, but these are so much like shotguns, but they work so good with Maelstrom that times 6 means every time you shoot an enemy there's 6 stacks, plus the dots. Now the chances here aren't that good, but with Storm Weaving they are pretty good. Yeah, I have one on fire and shock. I don't really carry a corrosive gun. This game just doesn't need much corrosive damage. Then the Flacker, because not only on bosses, but just big enemies in general, the Flacker, when you get some Maelstrom stacks, just wins the game. It's just so, they made it so good in the pre-sequel. The 2 scoops, again, another shotgun. I needed my Jacob's Love in here maybe, but when you get a lot of Maelstrom, the 2 scoops does a ton of damage. It hits a wide range of enemies. If you need to freeze them, it's cool, but you can also use it to put cryo on your own shield. And also you can see here, you know, I'm racking up my damage on my shield. Sure, I got myself frozen there, but that wears off fast enough. so you can increase that damage from your shield. You can help freeze enemies with it. It works really good with Smite, because the slow bullets that kind of keep traveling, you can do it and then jump and proc that after you shoot. So the 2 scoops has a lot of synergy with this again, and once you get Maelstrom up there, the damage from it really kicks in. So, you know, I've got my pseudo shotguns, I've got my shotguns. I keep messing around with different shields. I keep going back to the adaptives. I just like it with this build. The elemental resistance really helps. It's got good capacity. It's got a low recharge delay. It's got a lot of survivability. I just really like this. You can use a lot of different shields, and I guess it really depends what you like the best, but even a Nova shield can work really good because you can get set Maelstrom stacks. A shock Nova shield can work great, the black hole or something, because then you're automatically proccing conduit there. So there's a lot of different options you can go here, but I just keep going back to this shield. It works well, gives me a lot of survival. I originally had the Canonist mod, but when I moved to the splitters, the fire rate and the health from this just worked a little bit better. You know, hitting all those skills, you know, really just increased it. Vanguard, hold the line. Hold the line is huge to get boosted. These 2 are nice, but not the most important, but getting these 2 boosted, these were kind of point savers. So I could spend 5 points to get both of these and then move down and get the rest here. So it's just hard to beat this comm, the fire rate on it. Yeah, it was just great. And then the extra ability of recharging your shield immediately when I activate the Aspis is nice too. So if I am taking some damage, you know, I don't have United Front. This kind of makes that skill not needed. The Systems Purge, I kind of like this because it just helps strip the shields faster, kills the enemies faster. I do have a bunch of other ones in here. You know, the Oxidizer is obviously great with this build. The Eddy's always great. The Bomber if you want more grenades. A Juggernaut if I just want survivability. So I kind of swap these back and forth. But I'm inside here. The Systems Purge is fun. So why not? But, might as well get more fire. Also, I'll use this for now. And then the Stormfront, because really, there's no better option than the Stormfront for stacking Maelstrom, doing damage, Omega Senshu. Where are these guys? Are they all down there? That's kind of weird. You can see there the 2 scoops worked. Kind of forgot which weapons I had on which buttons there, so that should go better. But even without stacking any Maelstrom there, you just see how fast they died. Yeah, just start with that bleed. Get up there. You can just see this fire rate. You know, get some stacks going here. And once again, just so much quick death. And enemies die. And you can see it was a little swappy there. I was trying to make sure I swapped. I was occasionally swapping to the wrong guns. And there, just a straight melee kills them. Oh, another guy did decide to come out and play. Again, just fast death. I mean, that was a badass enemy there. See if I can get here before my duration ends and get some enemies. Then they come out and play right after. Get some Stormwaving. See, this is where the shield comes in. You know, again, those reloads with the Tesla effect. Just closing that gap. There you can see Smite with the 2 scoops working wonders. Little flak action there just because why not? Don't want to stop too much for ammo and stuff here because you just want to keep moving. But I was getting a little low, so that helped fill it up a bit. Get my stacks going back. And again, I kind of sit here in my grenade because the Aspis will just take that. I'm just gonna throw my shield early there. Kill all them. Get my shield back recharging. You should be dead. And my Aspis really went out there. I think there's a badass there. You see how fast they melt. Hey, there's actually a guy healing enemies for once. You don't see that often. Again, the 2 scoops. It's always nice to have some cryo, and that's got such a good cryo chance. Even though it didn't really hurt that guy. You know, get my shield back. Once again, conduit doing its thing. Who did I miss down here? I love the fact that you can melee guys over those walls. And that's pretty much the build as I ran through this map. You see how it works. You just play fun, in-your-face action. You know, I went down a few times, which I don't love, but in the end it really didn't matter. Again, I'm just gonna... I love my 2 scoops, so why not? Just kill this guy without my Aspis. I guess that's the end of the map now. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay and kind of the style of this as I kind of heal myself here. If that was reloaded. You see how fast that health starts coming back once you get some damage. Well, like I said, that's about the end of the map here. It's just a really fun build that I enjoy. There's definitely some more powerful ways to play Athena, but you know, the pre-sequel, I guess one of the downfalls, it's not that hard of a game. So just for fun and stuff, again, The build's more than capable. You can wreck bosses, you can play the whole game with it, and it's just fun. I like the up-close shotgun melee, kind of the melee ninja style. You have a lot of fun guns. To me, the flacker and the 2 scoops are great substitutes for it. I couldn't really show you the flacker much in this video because there wasn't really many enemies worthy of it, but you saw the 2 scoops in action, the splitters, which do most of the work, and just in general, really fun, fast-paced build, and that's what these games should be about, is just having fun, and that is this build. So that was kind of a weird end of the video ramble. Anyways, I hope you enjoy and like it again, give the build a shot, and see what you think. I will see you later.